Okay, so here we have the 2011 Chevy Cruze. This is a rental car. We've driven around quite a bit. It has the 1.4 liter turbocharged motor in it. I was aware of the fact that it had the 1.8, but I was wrong. It is the 1.4. So you can see it's pretty small. Do a quick walk around. I do like the exterior styling in the front. I do think that's pretty cool. The rims, I like the rims as well. They're really nice. It's got pretty good visibility on it. I'm actually really surprised with how well they did with this car. This is the LT model. Trim package though. Here's the trunk space. Has a decent amount of trunk space in it. Your spare tires there. Back seats pretty normal sized. Not really much of a surprise there. Power locks, power windows. I don't know if this is real leather, but I would think that it's, you know, pleather. It does have an exterior power jack back here. As well as your center console for storing things. The rear seats do fold down. And I'll get to the front here. And this is the inside here. Here is your key right here. It has the switchblade type key, which I think it's kind of cool, but at the same time, if you lose it, you're screwed, because you can't really make copies of these without paying a lot of money at the dealer. Basically, as far as headroom and stuff goes, as you can see, I've got quite a bit of headroom. I've been pretty happy with that. This car does have its own share of quirks and just ergonomical faults. The main one is they put the AC controls right here next to where your driver's side knee and your passenger side knee likes to lay. So basically, when you want to get over here and change the settings and everything, you got to say, hey, move your leg, or just knock his leg out of the way, or her leg, and deal with it yourself. But basically, that's one of the faults with this car, is they kind of didn't really get the ergonomics spot on. This right here is your lock unlock for the button for the doors. There's just one lock here. As you can see, there isn't any sort of door lock over here on the side. It does have power windows and locks and power mirrors as well. And you could also, lock the windows and everything, but, just in case your kids are in the back of the car. You have your headlight controls right here. It's set to auto right now, so when it gets dark enough, it turns on automatically. You have your light dimmer right here that dims or brightens the lights in the cluster. The cluster has a tach, a coolant temperature gauge, a fuel gauge, and a speedometer. This model has cruise control and Bluetooth capability. It doesn't have satellite radio, unfortunately, and surprisingly. It's just a standard AM, FM, CD. The CD can play MP3s as well. The stereo you can adjust, clock, info, favorites. You can adjust your tone, your presets, and back to what you were messing with before. There's your glove box. Pretty nicely sized too for a glove box. Your speakers are here. Another cool part about these Econo cars they're coming out with is, in addition to your cup holders here, they put the cup holders in the door as well. So I always thought that was pretty cool. Up here you have your light, your center light, and then if this, I'm assuming if this was a more equipped model, this would be a sunglasses holder right up here. Your rear view mirrors are good for the most part. It does have OnStar, as you can see. Then over here on the side, you have your auxiliary USB jacks, as well as a little compartment to keep all your stuff in. Let's see what else we've got here. It does have the sport shift mode. Let's go ahead and turn it on. And the sounds do sound nice, that chiming sound. It's not really that annoying. You also have your information panel right here, which gives you a digital readout of your speed and everything. You can change the settings on it right here and look at different things. Navigation we haven't used, and I don't really know too much about. We've been using GPS. I don't know what that is. There's nothing there. Trip meter, that's how much we've driven it so far. 1,100 miles. It is a rental car, as I said. We have 145 miles right now in this quarter of a tank. It's getting about 36 miles to the gallon on the highway. That's just flat highway without mountain driving in between. The other day when we were out mountain driving, it got about 34. So there's a little bit of a difference. It does have a fuel range meter, 365 miles left. I'd like to think that's somewhat accurate than your average fuel economy, which isn't real time. This is, it takes a while for it to get up to how you actually use it. And your average vehicle speed, 32.7 miles per hour. So that's how many gallons it's been used so far since it's been a rental car. Two-speed intermittent wipers, as well as an adjustable wiper control or speed control for each speed. It also has windshield wiper or windshield cleaner as well. What else can I say here about the interior? Can't really think of too much else. It's not built too cheaply. For the most part, it's actually built pretty nice for what it is. It's also got a sunglasses holder up here, as well as whatever else you want to throw in there. But all in all, I'd say it's a pretty decent car. If I had to give it an out of 10 rating, I'd probably give it about an 8.5. I'm not overall too surprised with it. It seems to handle pretty good on the road, but it corners pretty good. It's got a really good turning radius. It can basically turn around in places you wouldn't be able to expect it to without having to back up. One thing I don't like about the transmission, when you're in manual shift mode, it takes a while for it to register that you want it to shift a gear. So I'm going to shift a gear right now. It takes about a second for it to actually engage the gear that you want. For downshifts, it takes less time, but for upshifts, it takes about a second and a half to do it, as you can see. Okay, so here's our first 0 to 60 test in automatic mode. Not too bad. You can feel the turbo start to kick in. I wouldn't say this car is quick. I'd say that it has a little bit of pep to it, and it's fairly nimble. Let's turn around up here and do it in the manual. Okay, 0 to 60 to test number 2 in manumatic mode. But yeah, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. See you later.